Patience. I know I said earlier that I was coming on late because I got to purchase a chest freezer this morning and it was a bit last minute and, all the things, right? You know how those types of things go sometimes. But I'm grateful for your patience and that you're able to pop in here with me and have a conversation and learn some new things anyway, a little bit late. But first things first, before we do our topic for the day or our content for the day, I want to remind you that if you really like some of the videos that you're seeing, you are checking it out on Facebook, or if you are not somewhere on YouTube already, you can pop over to my YouTube channel. You can just search Andrea Orem, and I'll be doing a giveaway once we hit 100 subscribers. So if you like what you're learning about and you're like, hey, I want to be notified whenever the new videos come on, or you just want to see the exclusive videos that I only post on YouTube, you can hop over there and check those out. And then there's kind of a bonus. Once we hit 100 subscribers, I'll do a giveaway. So that's kind of a win-win thing, right? But I'm going to quick share this video to a group because Facebook has been interesting and not always letting me do what I want to get done. So, technology, right? But today our topic is how to choose a vocal mentor. So let's get into it because this is good stuff. So I have a lot of people that come to me and say, hey, I know you teach voice lessons, or I know you work with people who are speakers and using their voice healthily and stuff like that. So how do I pick someone that's going to be a good fit for me vocally? How do I know? Because there's so many voice teachers out there. There's so many coaches that work on the speaking voice and the singing voice and things like that. How do I know who to pick? So I want to tell you a little bit about how I would pick, knowing what I know as a vocal coach, as a vocal mentor. And I was speaking to someone who's looking for one. So whenever you're looking for a vocal mentor, if you're looking for lessons or a coach or something like that, someone to follow that you want to learn from, here's the things that I would keep in mind. Number one, are they themselves using their voice in a healthy way? If they aren't themselves doing what they are trying to claim that they can teach, then that's not cool, right? If you can't even do fully what you're teaching someone else to do, why should someone follow you? Why should someone learn from you? So make sure that they do what they say that they teach, and then also that they get there in the way that you want to get there. So, for example, if they want to teach you how to use your voice in a healthy way, but they're A, not doing it themselves, and B, not necessarily teaching it in a way that makes sense for the layman, that makes sense for someone who's not a, super trained vocalist or something like that. If they're teaching you to do it in a way that doesn't make sense for you, that makes sense for your context, or they don't do it in a way that you would want to do it, then that's not a good fit for you, right? So make sure that they themselves do what they're teaching, and that also they themselves got there in a way that you want to get there, right? So they maybe took a lot of training and they maybe did a lot of training in ways that you wouldn't do, and that's okay. But make sure that their teaching style, their teaching philosophy lines up with the way that you want to learn, right? So me personally, I do a lot of teaching and coaching in a very play-centered way. And I do this with adults and with kids. And here's why. I know that the brain is in a most optimal, and the body too, the brain, body, the whole connection, our whole being is most easy to do something new, to do something that maybe feels scary or feels hard or feels challenging when we're in a state of play or when we're in a state of imagination. You don't have to describe it as play per se, but creative or play or imagination or playfulness, if you will, right? So I try and focus on not only teaching in a way that makes sense for that individual, so focusing on the specific goals they have and the specific things that they want to learn, but also making sure that they're learning it in a way that their body can process it as something good, something fun, something that doesn't feel like work, but also if they're at a place where they really want to know the why behind something, I teach them all sorts of the why. So some of my students say, well, hey, why am I doing this exercise? Or why am I doing this activity? Oh, and then I teach them all about the anatomy of the voice, or why we do that specific exercise or that specific skill. So it's really catered to the individual, and that's the way I like doing it. I like doing it in a way that makes sense for people, because if I do it in just my way for my own way's sake, then that's not necessarily going to help that student apply their learning to their everyday life. So if it's a hairdresser who's doing a lot of speaking all day when she's, working with her clients and she's talking to them about whatever they want to talk about while they're doing their hair, but I teach her something that would be way more applicable to someone who sings in concerts, sure, like she might find that useful information, but if she's not actually using the information, even if it's useful, then it's really not actually useful, is it? It's maybe good information and helpful information for someone, but if it's not specific to her situation, then maybe it's not a good fit. So that's all. I'm all about using it, the information that I teach and the skills that I teach and the knowledge that I teach, and help people actually use it in their everyday context. So, and in a playful way, because I have discovered how people learn well and they enjoy what they're doing, and then it doesn't feel like work. So let's do a little recap before we're done. Make sure that they teach it. They do what they say they teach. So if it's a vocal mentor who has a lot of tension, if they're singing or speaking with a lot of tension, that's not a good fit. If you don't want to sing or speak with tension, don't pick someone who sings or speaks with tension. Okay? And I can tell you now, there are quite a few vocal coaches and vocal teachers out there who do that. I wouldn't recommend them. Now, I'm not asked my opinion most of the time, but just pick wisely. Do a little bit of learning about it. And that's why I'm so transparent about what I do, because I want people to have that information. I want them to know why they're choosing me, if they're picking me to be their vocal coach or vocal mentor. Why they're choosing me is a good option for them, not just, oh, buy my stuff, get my lessons, buy my coaching. Like, that doesn't serve anyone. I want them to know that it's a good fit for them and to be really grounded in that in order to be able to really succeed and really feel like they can make those gains. So with that, I should let you know that in the description of this video, you can find a link to my vocal coaching so you can learn a little bit more about me, about what I do, and how, although I did tell you a lot today. And there's also a link to the Strength Train Your Voice group. That's where I share a lot of awesome information, a lot of helpful how-tos. I talk a lot about vocal health, vocal confidence, things that you might want to know if you are someone who deals with jaw issues, whether that's from speaking or singing or not related at all and you don't know. I talk a lot about that on Tuesdays. I do TMJ Tip Tuesdays. So if that's something that you're interested in learning about, go check it out. There's a lot of good discussions, and I even do some giveaways in there sometimes. So kind of a fun thing to get involved in, right? So have an awesome rest of your day, and I can't wait to hear how you are choosing your vocal teacher, vocal mentor, vocal coach, and make sure that that is a good fit for you, right? Because we want to be able to find someone who's a good fit, who you feel confident working with, and that's just plain healthy for your voice. So have an